Hi, I'm Dr. Watt, the healthy neurosurgeon. Today I want to talk to you about trans fats, and unfortunately that means we're going to start with a brief chemistry lesson. When two molecules are stuck together, we call it a bond, and when they're stuck together more strongly, it's a double bond. Now, in nature, fatty acids are long chains of molecules that are stuck together by these double bonds. But they're not just simple chains. There are other molecules coming off to the side of the chain. And in nature, with every single case except one, the molecules on the side come off on the same side. That's called cis. In trans fatty acids, the molecules on the side come off on opposite sides of the double bond, like trans America. Now, what's the problem with trans fats? Well, it's a case of well-meaning chemistry gone terribly bad. Years ago, the food industry was worried about spoilage, so they wanted to come up with a way to keep their foods from spoiling so rapidly, keep them looking nice and tasty. So their chemists cooked up these trans fats, fatty acids, with the molecules on opposite sides of the double bond. And since they don't occur in nature, they don't tend to break down. Crisco is a perfect example of a trans fat, and if your mom used it, you may remember she didn't keep it in the fridge, she kept it on the cupboard shelf. Why didn't it go in the fridge? Because it doesn't spoil. And it doesn't spoil because bacteria can't eat them. Guys, bacteria eat everything. If the bacterium can't eat a trans fat, why would you eat it? Now, what happens is these long-chain fatty acids make up the membranes or coverings of every cell in our body. And it's very important that the cell membrane have a normal structure. That's where things like hormone receptors and pores and channels are that control all of the processes and workings of the cell. The trans fats get incorporated into the cell membranes, but they're not the same structurally. That disrupts the function of the membrane, causes a host of problems in the cell, and that's why these molecules are related to everything from cancer to metabolic syndrome. Now, if that weren't bad enough, the food industry really isn't our friend. They're in it for profit, and they've got a devil's bargain with the FDA. Less than 500 milligrams per serving can be labeled as zero trans fat. That's per serving, not per pound, per cup, per ounce, per serving. And the food manufacturer gets to decide what a serving is. If you walk down the chip aisle in the grocery store, not something I recommend you do, you'll find that a serving of chips is anywhere from 7 to 15 chips. Now, let's call that 10. How many times have you seen a kid eat 10 chips and call it a day? The package can say zero trans fat, and it very well may have 450 milligrams of trans fat in those 10 chips. So the kid sits down, has a big bowl of chips. Mom thinks he's had zero trans fat, and he's actually taken in so much that he's over the 2-gram-a-day limit that the American Academy of Pediatrics says is directly related to childhood cancers. Remember, bacteria can't eat trans fat, so why would you? It's not brain surgery.